If you ever lose your memory, your subconscious will tell you who you truly love. But what if the person you love doesn't love you back? How cruel would that be? Before the story begins, thank you for clicking on this tale of roses and love. 20 years into our marriage, my husband, Mike, suddenly looked at me and said he didn't know who I was. Who are you? Where's my wife, Chloe? That night, Mike disappeared. I tracked his phone and found him, but he refused to come home. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know you. Home is wherever Chloe is. I didn't say anything. The next day, I brought divorce papers and went back. Sign these, and you won't have to return to my home. Mike panicked, but before he could speak, the sharp click of high heels cut through the air. Lisa, do you always have to be this annoying? Chloe walked out, wearing the exact same coat as mine, smiling far too sweetly. I turned to her. You want him divorced, right? I'll make it easy. Mike suddenly reached out and grabbed the papers. Wait, I need time. For the first time, I looked at him carefully. This man who pretended not to know me was looking terrified. Those weren't the eyes of someone with amnesia. Those were the eyes of someone afraid of losing something. Fine. I nodded. But I'll be preparing something else too. Mike frowned. What are you talking about? I smiled. My own new life. He thought I would cry, scream, beg him to come back. I did none of that. I simply placed a separation agreement on the table. He froze. Lisa, what are you doing now? I slung my bag over my shoulder, my tone flat, almost casual. I'm moving out. You don't know me, remember? So let's give each other space. Lisa, don't be ridiculous. He scowled, struggling to control his temper. You're acting strange. It worries me. I looked up at that word, worries. In 20 years of marriage, it was the first time he'd ever said it. Not when I needed comfort, but when he was afraid I might walk away. Don't worry, I said softly. I won't bother you. Go enjoy your Chloe life. Mike's face immediately darkened. Lisa, you're misunderstanding the situation. I laughed. Am I? You know the truth better than I do. And with that, I dragged my suitcase out of the home we'd shared for 2 decades. The downtown apartment was small, but bright. I cut my hair short, bought new clothes, joined a gym, signed up for a personal growth class. I filled my days, and for the first time, I realized, when I stopped orbiting around Mike, the world suddenly became much bigger. During my first fitness class, I was clumsy enough that a few people couldn't hold back their laughter. I looked up and smiled. Don't laugh. If you laugh again, I really won't be able to continue. The trainer blinked, then laughed too. You're funny. Stick with it for 3 weeks, you'll see a difference. So I stuck with it. On a random afternoon in the 3rd week, I was doing squats when a familiar voice appeared behind me. What are you doing here? I turned around. Mike stood in the doorway. His shirt was wrinkled, like he'd rushed over without thinking. Working out, I said, wiping sweat off my forehead. Why? Am I not allowed? He stared at me, from my short hair to my athletic top, and some emotion in his eyes grew so thick it was almost tangible. When did you start dressing like this? The day after you moved out. His brows tensed, like he was finally realizing I wasn't the same woman anymore. Lisa, stop it. His voice dropped, as if worried others would hear. Listen to me, I need to explain. Chloe and I put up a finger. I'm in class right now. You're disrupting me. Then I turned away and continued the workout, completely ignoring him. Mike stood there for a long time before leaving, defeated and visibly shaken. Meanwhile, up on the 2nd floor balcony, Chloe watched everything, her teeth clenched, hatred burning in her eyes. She whispered coldly, Lisa, you think you can win him back just by becoming pretty? 2 days later, I was doing high-intensity jump rope training when the floor suddenly slipped beneath me. I fell hard, my knee slammed against the wooden ground, and pain shot through me like fire. People rushed over immediately, some helping me up, others asking anxiously if I could stand. I inhaled sharply, forced myself upright, and then I saw them. A pair of red-bottom heels. Chloe stood a few feet away, wearing her mask of sweetness, a smile that looked harmless but felt like poison. "Oh no. Lisa, what happened?" That fall looked terrible. Her tone sounded like concern, but in her eyes, excitement, barely concealed and burning. She made no move to help, in fact. She subtly stepped back, like she wanted a better view of my humiliation. I gritted my teeth. I fell. "It's nothing." "Really?" She tilted her head. It looked pretty serious. "But accidents happen. Who knows, maybe it's the floor's fault." That was when it clicked. She hadn't done anything directly, but she had created the perfect conditions for an accident. A subtle setup. Just enough to embarrass me in front of everyone. Just enough to make me look weak. "You did this on purpose, didn't you?" I asked quietly. Chloe shrugged. Lips curved. "Why would you think that? It's just an accident." But her eyes were practically glowing with satisfaction she couldn't hide. She walked away. I stood up slowly, my knee throbbing, face pale under the bright gym lights. Around me, I heard whispers. "Is Lisa hurt? Poor thing. That fall looked rough. She's limping." I felt anger, frustration, shame. But then, something inside me shifted. I stood up straight. I brushed dust off my knees. I ignored every single pair of staring eyes. And I picked up the rope again. Chloe wanted to see me crumble. She wanted tears, panic, chaos, a public meltdown. But I gave her only this, a cold stare and a calm return to training. She slapped me once. I hit her back with indifference. Each jump was stronger than the last. Each breath steadier. I wasn't jumping rope. I was jumping over every wound, betrayal, and insult I had endured. The whispers continued. The stares continued. But none of them mattered. What mattered was, I stood back up. And that was the one thing she never expected. After the slip incident, Chloe clearly hadn't gotten what she wanted. She wanted me humiliated, broken, unraveling. But I didn't give her the satisfaction. And that only made her more dangerous. 3 days later, the gym hosted an open trial class, lots of new people, lots of attention, a perfect stage for a public disaster. I arrived and immediately saw Chloe in a pure white yoga outfit, smiling so brightly it felt like a performance. "Lisa, you're here too?" Her voice syrupy sweet. "There are lots of newbies today. Try not to fall again, okay? The floor can't take the blame twice." Several people around us glanced over, expressions curious. I gave her a calm, thin smile. "I don't fall unless someone tries to make me." Her face twitched, just a second, then she smiled again. The class began. The instructor walked us through a flexibility pose. Everyone was following along. I was about to start the movement when something in the mirror caught my eye, a faint shimmer on the floor. Powder, scattered intentionally. Again. I narrowed my eyes. In the mirror's reflection, I saw Chloe quickly shove a small empty packet into her bag. She thought I didn't notice, but I saw everything. Fine. She wanted a show? I'd give her one. I walked directly toward the powdery area, and Chloe, thinking I was about to fall, smiled triumphantly behind me. But then, I abruptly turned around and raised my voice. "Hey, there's slippery powder on the floor here. Can someone help clean this up before someone gets hurt?" The entire room froze. Chloe's smile collapsed instantly. The instructor rushed over. "Whoa, there really is powder. Who would do something so irresponsible?" Other members gathered around. "What the hell? Who put this here? This is dangerous." I folded my arms and looked directly at Chloe. I saw something reflecting on the floor, so I just wanted to warn everyone. Safety first. Chloe panicked. "Why, you're lying. You're trying to frame me. You have no proof." I tilted my head, smiling faintly. "When did I say it was you?" Everyone turned toward her. Her reaction was far too fast, far too guilty. The instructor frowned. "Chloe, what's in your bag? We all saw you moving strangely a minute ago." Chloe clutched her bag tight. It wasn't me." And then, a small, shiny powder packet slipped out of her bag and hit the floor. Silence. 3 seconds. Then an explosion. It was her. "What's wrong with this woman? That could have seriously hurt someone. Kick her out." The instructor's face darkened. "Chloe, I think you should leave. We'll discuss your membership after this. Chloe was kicked out, humiliated in front of the entire gym. She shot me a murderous glare. I looked straight back at her and said quietly, "You set me up once, I ignored it. You did it twice, now you get to feel what it's like to fall harder than I ever did." Later came over. "Lisa, you stayed so calm. I thought you'd explode." I shrugged. "Why bother? I didn't fall." He blinked, then laughed. Across the glass wall, someone else was watching too. Mike. For the first time, his eyes held something new, regret. After the fiasco with Chloe, I unexpectedly became one of the most talked about people at the gym. Not because I was humiliated, but because I handled myself, fought back, and walked away smiling. After that day, I trained even harder. Up at 6 every morning, running, strength training, body sculpting. One movement at a time. I rebuilt myself. Within just a few weeks, even strangers noticed the change: clearer skin, brighter eyes, a lighter, steadier energy around me. One afternoon, while I was switching to a new machine, a man walked up beside me. "You're improving again," he said lightly. I looked up. It was Alan, one of the new personal trainers. Late 20s. Sunny, open expression. Absolutely incapable of hiding his emotions. He pointed to my posture. "Your form used to be really stiff. Now you're solid. You've got talent." I raised an eyebrow. "Is that a compliment?" "Of course," he said seriously. "And also, you're incredibly persistent. Stronger than most." I chuckled. "That's probably the only thing I can brag about." "No." He shook his head. "You've got a lot going for you. You just never saw it before." His sincerity was so disarming that for the first time in a long while, I felt embarrassed. Then something unexpected happened. Alan stepped behind me and gently adjusted my shoulder. "A little higher. There you go. Perfect." I stiffened. I can do it myself." "I know," he said with a soft smile. "I just wanted to practice with you." Something skipped inside my chest. Just then, a shadow stretched across the glass wall. I felt someone watching. I looked up. Mike was outside the gym, staring directly at me. His expression was thunderous, dark. Storm-heavy eyes fixed on Alan's hand on my arm. His jaw tightened until the muscles jumped. I felt a slow, amused smile forming. Finally, he was letting himself panic. Alan, unaware of the storm behind the glass, asked casually, "Are you free this weekend? Our running club is meeting at the park. You should join." I opened my mouth. Bang. The gym door slammed open. Mike stood there like he owned the place, his expression sharp enough to cut glass. He practically growled, "Lisa, we need to talk. Now." Alan blinked. Sir. Can I help you?" "I'm her husband," Mike said coldly. "Stay away from her." Alan looked confused. "She told me you two were separated and living apart. So I assumed, Alan." I cut in smoothly. "No need to explain." I walked toward Mike. Steps steady, controlled, like the whole gym was my stage, and he was just another lost man who wandered into the wrong scene. "What do you want?" I asked calmly. Mike looked at me walking away from Alan, and something in his expression cracked: fear, jealousy, disbelief all tangled together. "Lisa, you've changed too fast," he said. "I'm not comfortable with it." I smiled. "Oh, me becoming better makes you uneasy?" He said nothing. He didn't need to. I draped a towel over my shoulder. "My life isn't yours to manage anymore." "Mike." That sentence, a clean, precise blade, cut right through him. He flinched. Alan, hearing this, added quietly from behind me, "Lisa, I'll be around if you need anything. I'm here." That one line, Mike's fists clenched instantly. I hid a smile. This was getting interesting. He followed me out of the gym like a shadow. Where I walked, he walked. Where I paused, he paused. He even matched my stride like it was involuntary. Finally, I stopped. "How long are you planning to follow me?" His jaw flexed. "What's going on with you and that trainer?" I laughed. "Do you still think you have the right to ask?" That struck a nerve. "Lisa," he snapped. "You're my wife." I raised an eyebrow. Funny. Didn't you say you didn't know me? His breath stuttered. That was because I had to. I'm trying to explain now. I don't want to hear it. He froze. He grabbed my wrist, hard enough to hurt. You can't treat me this way. I jerked back. Let go. Instead, he tightened his grip. Eyes frantic. I said I'm not comfortable with you like this. For 20 years. He never showed true emotion, never panic, never desperation, never jealousy. Until now, Lisa, he said through his teeth. Don't let that pretty boy distract you. You don't know what he wants. You're vulnerable now, easy to manipulate, I laughed. Wow. You make it sound like 20 years with you taught me nothing. His mouth snapped shut. You're upset. I continued softly, stepping closer. Because for the first time, someone is approaching me, and it's not you. His pupils tightened, and he approaches with light. I added, not with shadows like you. His breathing went uneven. Lisa, we can't be like this. He started, voice raw. I stepped back. Tell me, Mike, what exactly are we now? He stared at me, speechless, cornered. At last, he forced out, I don't want you getting close to other men. I laughed out loud. Mike, that's the first honest thing you've said in years. I turned to walk away. He grabbed me again, voice cracking. Lisa, wait, please. I haven't been okay lately. I'm scared of losing you. I froze, then said quietly, when you faked amnesia, did you ever think about what I might lose? Silence. Crushing, suffocating silence. He couldn't answer. I pulled my hand free. Too late. Mike, if you're scared of losing me, you can stay scared. I walked away. He didn't chase me. For the first time, he had no idea how to keep me. Mike's behavior only grew stranger in the days that followed. He showed up everywhere, outside my gym, my apartment, even near my workplace, calling, texting, leaving voicemails full of explanations, full of I had my reasons, full of everything except the truth. Every time he tried to tell me the real reason, his words would trail off, like he didn't have the guts to finish the lie. And then, one night, everything unraveled. I had just reached my apartment building when someone called out hesitantly, Lisa? I turned. It was Sarah, the front desk girl from the gym, barely 20, always nervous, always polite. Tonight, though, she looked troubled. I actually need to tell you something, she said, wringing her fingers. I felt my heartbeat slow, sink. What is it? She swallowed hard. The day of the open trial class, when Chloe got kicked out. She and Mike were arguing in the hallway. I heard everything. My stomach tightened, but I kept my voice calm. What did they say? Sarah took a breath, like she was about to plunge underwater. Chloe yelled at him, saying, you acted so well she didn't even suspect a thing. How pathetic. One cold shoulder and that old woman fell apart. My fingers went cold. Sarah continued, voice trembling, and then Mike said, this is your fault. If you'd told me you liked me sooner, I wouldn't have gone through this mess. I just didn't want Lisa clinging to me. She's too stable, too predictable, there's no spark anymore. You're the one who told me to fake amnesia. A hollow, metallic silence filled my ears. No spark. Too stable. Pretend amnesia. My 20-year marriage, condensed into a cheap, disgusting script. Sarah twisted her hands. I don't think they just made a mistake. They planned it. All of it. I inhaled slowly, letting the air settle the shaking in my chest. Is there more? I asked quietly. Sarah nodded. Chloe laughed and told him, once you get rid of Lisa for good, we can go public. Don't worry, she won't fight back. She's too obedient, too devoted. That's why you got bored in the first place. A laugh, icy, sharp, escaped my lips before I could stop it. So this was it. Chloe wanted novelty. Mike wanted excitement. And the perfect way to get it was to turn me into the villain of my own marriage. Sarah's voice trembled. Lisa, are you okay? I lifted my gaze, feeling a clarity I hadn't had in years. It's fine, I said softly. They think I won't fight back. Then I'll show them just how wrong they were. The next day, Mike came again. more frantic than ever. He was waiting outside the gym, pacing like a man who'd lost his mind. When he saw me, he hurried over. "Lisa, I need to talk to you today. We have to clear this up." "Oh," I said lightly. "You're ready to keep lying again?" His expression froze. "Lisa, please, listen to me, Mike." I interrupted him, voice calm, steady. "I know the real reason." His pupils shrank. What do you know?" I met his gaze, expression cool as winter glass. "You're tired of me. You wanted something new. You wanted to feel alive again. The whole fake amnesia act? Chloe taught you." Mike's face drained of color. "Lisa, I can explain." "Shut up." He did. It was the first time I had ever spoken to him that way. "You thought 20 years of consistency made me disposable," I said evenly. "You thought I wouldn't leave. You thought I'd sit there forever, waiting for you to get bored of Chloe." Mike's lips trembled. That's not, Lisa. That's not how it was." "Then tell me," I asked softly. "Tell me where the lie ends and the truth begins." He opened his mouth, and nothing came out. Because there was no truth, only convenience. I exhaled, and my voice dropped to a deadly calm. "You know what I'm most grateful for?" He swallowed. "What?" "That you and Chloe finally woke me up from this marriage." His entire body went still, like those words were a blade embedded to the hilt. I walked past him. Behind me, for the first time in our entire relationship, Mike's voice cracked, actually cracked. "Lisa, you can't just walk away from me." But I didn't turn around. In my heart, only one thought remained: watch me. Once I finally walked away for real, Mike's reaction spiraled into something almost unhinged. He stopped pretending, stopped controlling himself, stopped trying to explain. He went straight to desperation. He came to my apartment building nearly every day, sometimes morning, sometimes late at night, always with flowers, always with frantic eyes. One afternoon I looked out my window and saw him downstairs, holding a bouquet of expensive roses like a lifeline. "Lisa," he called up, voice trembling. "Please, can you come down? Just for a moment? I know I messed up, I just need one chance." I picked up my phone and called him instead. He answered instantly, breathless. "Lisa? You're there? Thank God. Listen, I know everything I did was wrong. Every bit of it. But I swear, I don't want to lose you. Please, give me a chance to fix it." I hung up. I put on my coat, walked downstairs at a calm, steady pace. When he saw me, he nearly ran to me, eyes wide with hope. "Lisa, I swear, I'm done with Chloe. I've been thinking." And I realize, I stared at him blankly. "You really don't see how ridiculous you look, do you?" He froze at the coldness in my tone. "I look ridiculous?" He echoed. "Very." I stepped forward, took the bouquet out of his hands, and let it fall onto the ground. The roses scattered across the concrete, petals crushed under my heel. "You say you don't want to lose me," I said softly. "But you already did." Mike looked like someone had hit him in the chest. "Lisa, I know you're hurt." "No," I cut in. "You don't know what you did wrong. You only know you're losing control." "I do understand," he insisted, voice rising. "I know you're upset, but you can't judge me only by my mistakes. You didn't have one mistake, Mike." I looked him dead in the eye. "You had 20 years of opportunities to cherish me, and you threw all of them away." He swallowed hard, his voice cracking. "Lisa, I swear I've changed. I'll do anything, anything. Just don't leave." I shook my head. "I don't want you to change. I want you gone." His face paled. "Lisa, this marriage," I said, voice like a final verdict, "is over." Mike's lips parted, but no sound came out. I turned and walked back toward my building. Behind me, I heard a choked whisper, "Lisa," but I didn't turn around. He had lost the right to be the person I looked back at. A few days later, another storm arrived. Chloe. I came home from work and found her waiting outside my building, sunglasses on, dressed in a bright red coat, vibrating with fury. The moment she saw me, she ripped off her sunglasses. "Lisa, are you happy now?" she shrieked. "Mike hasn't come home in 2 days. He's with you." Isn't he? I gave her a tired, almost bored look. He came to see me. That has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with? Chloe laughed bitterly, almost hysterically. You think I don't know? You're pretending to be all calm and innocent, but you're stealing him back. I raised a brow. Steal him back? Chloe, fake amnesia was your idea. She flinched like I slapped her. Shut up. Don't you dare say you want to deny it? I asked mildly. Fine. Then tell Mike the same thing to his face. Her breath hitched. She couldn't. You know. I continued. Mike isn't in pain because of me. He's in pain because of you. Chloe's eyes flashed. What does that mean? It means, I said slowly, he finally realized you're not the dream woman he imagined. He realized you used him, and he realized that your love only looks good in your own imagination. That's a lie, she snapped. Mike loves me. He loves me. Does he? I tilted my head. Or do you just love the idea of being chosen? Her face went rigid. You know what your biggest fear is, Chloe? I continued. That he'll leave you and crawl back to me. She froze. Here's the truth, I said. I won't take him back. Not now. Not ever. You too? You're both beneath my standards now. Chloe stared at me, stunned. Even if you don't want him, she whispered, he'll still go back to you. That's what he's like. He always runs back. I was about to respond when a voice behind us broke. Lisa, please don't go. We both turned. Mike was standing at the bottom of the stairs, looking at me with red-rimmed eyes. Chloe instantly rushed toward him. Mike! Finally! Let's go home. He didn't even look at her. Chloe, he said coldly. Go home. She stiffened. What did you say? Mike's expression shifted into something I had never seen directed at her, disgust. Go home. I want to talk to Lisa. I'm your girlfriend. Chloe shrieked. You can't, enough. He snapped. The fake amnesia was your idea. You told me to do it. You said Lisa wouldn't leave. You said she wouldn't fight back. You're the one who pushed me into this mess. Chloe's mouth dropped. I was trying to help us. No, Mike said flatly. You were trying to replace her. You wanted her out cleanly so you could step in. He looked at her like she was a stranger. We're done. Chloe. Over. Chloe staggered backward, face ghost pale. Mike turned to me, voice trembling. Lisa. I'm sorry. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I meant it. Every word. I want to fix this. Please give me a chance. I took a slow breath and looked at him, really looked at him. This man I once trusted, once leaned on, once loved. Now he was nothing but a broken shadow of all the choices he made. Mike, I said softly, we're finished. His breath stopped. This isn't because of Chloe, not because of the lies, not even because of the fake amnesia. I met his eyes. It's because you never cherished me, not once, not in 20 years. His lips trembled. I really have changed. I don't need you to change. I said, I need you to leave. A breeze passed between us, cold, clean, final. I turned away. Lisa, he called behind me, voice cracking. I really did love you. I didn't turn. I simply said, too bad. Mike, I don't need your love anymore. Silence collapsed over the entire street. Chloe stood frozen like a shattered doll. Mike sank down onto the steps, burying his face in his hands, and I walked past both of them, free. Mike disappeared from my life for a while after that day. I didn't know where he went. I didn't care. I had finally put the past down, and with it, 20 years of weight I didn't realize I'd been carrying. 3 months later, everything was different. I moved out of the old house, the one filled with memories that weren't mine anymore. I found a new place, small but full of sunlight. I switched to a new job, made new friends, went hiking on weekends, spent afternoons in libraries, and even signed up for a mixology class. For once, I wasn't living around someone else. I wasn't shrinking myself to fit a marriage. I wasn't apologizing for needing space, attention, love, or anything at all. One Saturday morning, I trimmed my hair again, shorter, lighter, freer. Then I sat by the window of my new apartment, sipping tea while the sun warmed my shoulders. For the first time in years, my world was quiet, not empty, not lonely, just beautifully, peacefully mine. A friend asked me one day, "Do you regret getting divorced?" I smiled. "I regret wasting so much time," I said. "But leaving? Never." Sometimes my phone still buzzed with long paragraphs from Mike, apologies, confessions, promises, regrets. I never opened them. Chloe? I heard she moved out of the city. No more high heels clacking around my world. No more sugary venom. They both drifted into the background, becoming nothing more than distant noise in a life that finally belonged to me. 20 years of marriage had made me cry, hurt, bleed silently. But now, I was free. Completely, irreversibly free. The day I finalized the divorce papers, I walked alone down the street. The sun was warm, the breeze gentle, and for the first time, the light didn't feel like something I had to share, it felt like something I had earned. I bought myself a cup of coffee, sat on a bench, and watched people pass by. My heart was calm, my steps light, my spirit quiet but unbroken. I started reading again, started laughing again, started dreaming again. I learned to shake cocktails, tried new recipes, joined a book club, said yes to invitations, said no when I wanted to, and slowly, without even realizing it, I came back to myself. The version of me I left behind 20 years ago, the woman who should have never disappeared. Someone once asked, "Lisa, what's the biggest change after the divorce?" I answered, "I finally put my happiness back in my own hands." And that was it. Not a dramatic rebirth, not a phoenix rising from ashes. Just a woman waking up one morning and breathing, really breathing, for the first time in a long time. The past stayed where it belonged, behind me, and I walked forward, step by steady step, into a life that felt warm, clean, full of space, a life that was finally mine. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about this story, feel free to share them in the comments section. Here is Roses and Love, sharing stories about marriage and women every day. See you tomorrow.